Hello everyone, you are watching That Car Chick, and today I'm going to be showing you a quick guide to under the bonnet. Because honestly, the most painful mistake that people make is putting the wrong fluids in the wrong place. And trust me, as a mechanic, that mistake is a lot more common than you would think. There are 5 main caps that you need to worry about that are under the bonnet. The screen wash, the coolant, the brake fluid, the power steering fluid, and the engine oil. The placement for each different type of fluid and oil might be different in different cars. However, when it comes to the actual caps, they normally try and keep it the same so that whatever your car you sit in or you're trying to work on, you can actually understand what is underneath the bonnet. Okay, so let's start with a nice and easy one, which is the screen wash. The symbol on the cap will look like a windscreen with a little jet of water being sprayed onto it. Screen wash comes in many types of different strengths and scents. You can get it as a concentrate or a ready mix. You can also put just water in it if you don't have access to anything else, but it isn't really recommended because water just doesn't clean the windscreen as well as screen wash would. Screen wash will always have a specific mixture of chemicals, so it can target different things, such as dirt, and some of them might actually be better for wiping bugs off of your windscreen. And some are honestly really crap and don't actually do a lot, so you want to have a look at what you're actually buying and what you put in your screen wash. So keep an eye on your screen wash because this one's quite important when it comes to actually trying to see through your windshield and where you're going. The next one is your coolant. This normally has a little thermostat and a warning sign like this one, or it can also have a warning sign in it not to open when hot. I would also definitely listen to the recommendations of not opening this cap when it is hot. So only open this bottle when the coolant temperature has died down, and do not open it right after you sat there revving your engine getting it hot unless you want a steaming hot shower in coolant. I am definitely not speaking from experience. Now you also want to make sure this stays between the maximum and the minimum mark. Now the importance of the coolant in this reservoir isn't just because it's a pretty pink color. It actually circulates around the engine and keeps the engine cool to prevent it from heating or even blowing up. You can top this up with water, however if it is really low I would recommend actually using a ready mix coolant. This is because if there's lots and lots of water in the coolant, the strength of the cooling just won't be adequate enough and it won't be doing its job properly. Make sure to always use the coolant that is recommended by the manufacturer for your specific car. You can find the information of what coolant you need to use either on the bottle, in your car manual, or if you really can't find the information anywhere, you can always Google or ask a professional. Okay, and over here we have the brake fluid. The brake fluid cap will always have some sort of yellow weed hexagonal thing on it with a little circle and a couple of lines. If you see that, it's the brake fluid. And without this fluid, you won't have any brakes, so this is a very important one to keep an eye on. Now, when mechanics tell you to change your brake fluid every 2 years, they're not trying to scam you into giving them more money. Brake fluid is hygroscopic, which means it absorbs moisture and water from around it. Over time, there becomes a massive buildup of water in the brake fluid. This can make the pedal feel very soft and spongy and isn't as effective when braking and can potentially also cause braking failure, which is what you definitely don't want happening when you're going 70 miles an hour down the motorway on the M25 and see some oncoming traffic and you can't stop. And then you cause an accident and you're the reason there's more traffic on the M25. Don't be that person, get your brake fluid changed. Now, if you need to top it up, dot 3 and dot 4 are the most common types of brake fluid. Now, as always, please check the cap, the car manual, or the internet for the manufacturer recommended for your specific car. Okay, next is your power steering fluid. This will most commonly have a little steering wheel symbol on it so you know it's for the power steering. And this is just for if your car has power steering fluid because a lot of older cars never had power steering. Or cars nowadays also have electric power steering, so again, it will not have the fluids. But if your car is like mine and it's like in the middle gap of not super modern and not super old, it will have power steering fluid. And power steering, like in its name, helps you steer the wheel. So when you're steering, it's not like you're having to drag the entire friction of the weight of the car on the road, you know. So that's another reason you want to keep an eye on this fluid. Power steering fluid doesn't really need to be changed. However, you do want to make sure that you're keeping an eye on the level anyway because it can leak out over time and things like that. And trust me, you don't want this bad boy running out because I don't know if you've ever steered a car when it's got no power steering, but it is hell. And you need muscles. And I really don't have no muscles. So yeah, unless you have muscles, you'll struggle without power steering fluid. So keep that topped up. Okay, and the final and one of the most important things under the bonnet that you need to keep an eye on, probably more regularly than the other fluids, is your oil. Because if you let this run low, your engine will blow up to pieces. And again, it is actually a lot more common than you think. We have a lot of these cases when customers are like, oh, my engine don't work no more. Yeah, honey, it's got no oil in it, okay? So keep an eye on this level. As much as I love doing engines, I kind of feel for your guys' pockets when the warranty don't accept it because you haven't had oil in it. Also service your car. Yeah. Do not miss services because honestly, in all seriousness now, oil does go bad. And if you don't service your car regularly every single year or within a certain mileage, the oil becomes so thick and clumpy, and then it doesn't go through the parts as it needs to, and those parts will just have excessive wear until eventually the engine just goes kaboom. I'm being a bit exaggerative. It doesn't really just blow up, but you can bend valves, you can damage pistons, you can cause a lot of internal damage to the engine, but it's not like it's gonna blow up like something out of a movie, you know? Hey Siri, where is the dipstick on my car? Okay, today's the day I find out that Audis do not have dipsticks, which is so convenient. If you have an Audi like me, you want to check this on the screen inside. However, if you have any other car in the world, I will talk you through the process of checking your dipstick. Okay, I've borrowed the dipstick from my mom's car so I can show you how to check the oil. Okay, as soon as you take the dipstick out, the first thing that you want to do before checking is clean the dipstick off. This will give you an accurate result because if you just check the dipstick as you take it out, where all the engine runs and splashes, it just won't be an accurate reading. Once you've cleaned the dipstick off, put the dipstick back in. Let's just pretend, for the sake of pretending, that I've dipped this in the correct place because obviously Audis don't have dipsticks. Then take your dipstick back out again and try and keep it as horizontal as you can so you don't tip about the reading and get an incorrect reading. Now, as you can see on my reading here, the oil is between the minimum and maximum mark, which means it's good. You want to make sure that the oil is always between the minimum and the maximum mark and not less and not over. Because of course not enough oil can cause internal damage to the engine where the parts of the engine aren't getting enough oil. However, too much oil can also drown the engine and cause an excessive amount of oil pressure and also cause things to go wrong. Then you just put the dipstick back in and make sure it's all secure so no oil comes flying out of the engine. And that is it. That is a more detailed beginner's guide to what is under the bonnet. So now, if you mix up your fluids and put the wrong stuff in the wrong place, don't blame me, okay? I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope you learned something new today. As always, leave a like if you enjoyed the video and leave a comment down below if you have any more questions. If you did enjoy the video and you want to see more, make sure to smash that subscribe button and click the notification bell so you can be the first to watch my videos. That is all. I'll see you all next time, but for now, peace!